झाडावर झू गाडीवर मुंगल्याची सर्कस गोल 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 तल जाऊच्या खोई गोल 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 ट्रॅक्टरवर चक्कर मारायची दूर 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 कागदाचे विमान उडते भूर 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 आई मला खेळायला जायचे जाऊ दे डबा नदीमध्ये पवायला जायचे जाऊ दे मावा माझा सगळा अभ्यास झालाय जाऊ दे नवा मी तुझे सगळं काम ऐक जाऊ दे नवा रोज सकाळी उठायचं कोंबडीचे घर उघडायचं पिलरच्या बागेत नाचायचे थुई 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 हेडकुचं लोक करायचं सकाळचं अंघोळ करायचं पटापट शाळेला जायचं टमटम मध्ये बुई परेगात कॉमिक्सची मज्जाच लई 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 कच्चा जांबा बोरांची गोडीच लई 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 साबणाचे रंगीत रंगीत कुके उडवू लई 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 दगडची माती खेळायला पोट जमवू लई लई
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How was the music? Fantastic. Great, so very good. Now picture most Maharashtrian people know, but I think other people also would have understood the melody of that particular music and that particular learning. Sorry, not learning, playfulness of our human being. Good. So today I'm really fresh. Last week was not having that much of freshness because of the viral infection, but your interest and everything kept me going as it is with the sessions. Hello, today we were supposed to have a yesterday session, but was not feeling well. That's why we have taken a break. And I also knew that Sunday coming and attending session, I think Sunday should be enjoyed like this. Yeah, I do understand now. We are not of that age, but still our mind is like still in the same process. Last from 6 months, continuously coming in front of the computer, sitting at 8 o'clock, and trainer gets started with the topic Java, C Sharp, then WPT, and so on so things. Correct. No? So somewhere I think learning process, if you try to have in that particular process, and you also enjoy the station, you also do your practical with this involvement, I think picture would be slightly different. It is going to be. Anyhow, today is going to be our last day. Today I'm supposed to cover the topic about something called CI/CD pipeline. What is exactly this CI/CD pipeline? Then what is a Jenkins server? Can we really install that Jenkins server? Can we create one simple pipeline inside that thing? That is what exactly we like to focus it here. I hope most of you have your AWS account created, or still you are about to create your AWS account.
Yes.
Good, very good. Because once you have this account, I think you can take full advantage in this particular today's IT world. Just having simple coding experience, simple having C# experience or Java experience or JavaScript experience will not lead us towards getting some job. So the job demands that you should be able to write your code. That's okay. but you should be able to design your application. You should be able to understand the requirement gathering. You should be able to understand the process of the whole software development, what is what we call as agile methodology. I think we should know, you should be familiar enough about something called Scrum. You should understand there is a concept called as a user story. You should understand how exactly any particular simple requirement you convert in the form of perfectly in the form of persona, purpose, and the objective. And this is the way you always organize your number of statements is together. So these all kind of requirements will get in the form of like these English sentences as a user, as a customer, as a director, uh, as a shipping vendor. Correct? No, I want to do something, 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 so that I can. Correct? No, like that way we can really write such kind of number of sentences together, and these all sentences we will call them as a user stories, user stories, user stories. And these all user stories will club together under one container. That container we call as a, remember what is that word we use? Product backlog. So product owner is responsible for managing that product backlog. The product backlog will contain the kind of user stories supposed to be implemented by your Scrum team. Correct, no? And the Scrum team will deliver those user stories in iterative incremental fashion after exactly for a certain time duration. We call that time duration as a sprint cycle. Okay, no? So there's a concept called product user stories, product backlog, product owner. Then there will be sprint planning meeting will happen, and then according to the input given by your product owner, your Scrum Master is always observing everything, and your team members are sitting together and finding now for next 15 days what are the important user stories we have to focus it on implementation. So then they define something called sprint backlog. So you may have something called 700 user stories in your product backlog, but you'll just take something called, let us say, 10 user stories, and that will become like your sprint one. Then the sprint timeline will be defined, when the sprint will be started. For the sprint, who are the people? Definitely your developers, correct? Definitely your testers. These all kind of people will be working together, okay, for next 15 days. So we see it's a sprint cycle going on, and in that area, their job is now plan, design, code, test, okay, and that is the work they carry. But during that time, that's for that particular first 15 days, we are also discuss about, I think there will be everyday meeting, stand-up meeting, correct, no? 15 minutes of stand-up meeting will be there. We will always cross-check what is happened, which are those use stories completed, who has completed, who has a issue, correct, no? And like that, the work will be carried out. And finally, we'll have something called like a perfectly, something called your sprint review meeting, correct? You will have a demo to the customer. You'll have sprint review meeting. You'll have retrospective meeting. Based on that, you'll find how many things we really achieved, how many things we couldn't achieve, and whether any kind of customer has given the feedback. So according to that feedback, in a retrospective meeting, you may identify new user stories, and you again put those user stories back into the product backlog, correct? And then again, sprint planning meeting will be taken place, and the next sprint user stories will be decided, and the work will be continuous. So like that way, your product is going in a development process from immature state towards mature state. I think that is what we call as a scrum. So somewhere I think we should be able to know these things very well. Apart from your MVC knowledge, apart from your database knowledge, apart from your coding skill, apart from your debugging skill. I think that is what exactly we focused under our scrum agile methodologies. We tried to use Jira tool, Atlassian Jira. And I'm slightly revising so that we will be in a better position to actually take it this whole journey further. We are at the last day and the last topic we are going here. But during that time, it's my responsibility to make you comfortable. Whatever we have covered, we touch up and we are going further. So that we learn, then further we move towards something called like uh, physical environment and what is that? Virtualized environment. Then we talked about cloud environment. Okay, we said virtualization. We also understood advantages of virtualization and disadvantages of virtualization. Then we also compare something called as a what is it? Virtualization versus containerization.
Continually.
Correct. So we said that key containerization will allow us to run multiple web applications in a multiple different execution context without using multiple virtual machines. In a one particular virtual machine or in one environment, we can really create your own kind of separate application execution context for your Java application, .NET applications. And this containerization will also allow us you can load balance those containers using something called Kubernetes, correct? Docker Swarm, like kind of container orchestration tools. And then on the basis of at runtime, the kind of request will be increased or decreased accordingly. That container orchestration tool will do take care of scaling or descaling those containers. We also learn the difference between virtual machine and container image, correct? No? So we also discuss about in case of each and every virtual machine, you'll always have like a guest OS. But in case of containers, you will only have simple application and their libraries. And they will be actually using Docker Container Engine. And the Docker Container Engineer is nothing but a kernel level service of a Linux shell. So that's the way your containers are lightweight. Then we also try to learn about how this containerization environment can be created. So we also learn about how to install Docker. We learn Docker commands. We also understood how these Docker images can be built. We also come across two terms. No, one is the Docker and second is called Docker Hub. So Docker is container execution engine, correct? No? Yes, right. And Docker Hub, can someone tell me what is Docker Hub?
Where all of like same as GitHub, all the kind of all that material I would say are stored in one place.
Yeah, a centralized place where ready-made container images are kept available for consumption point of view, correct? No? So even you also wanted your container images also would be made available in a Docker Hub. You need to have your own subscription, otherwise log in to the Docker Hub. And then using Docker push command, you will be able to push your image which is running on your local machine to that particular Docker Hub. And once any container image is kept in a Docker Hub, correct? No? So this image you can replicate across the globe in hardly few seconds. So that is why we always say enterprise applications. Listen carefully. I use word enterprise applications. Enterprise applications are always containerized applications. Such containerized applications, their container images are always been continuously being pushed by their DevOps team to the Docker Hub. And accordingly, the different kind of data centers, or there might be some kind of like a automation where as soon as any image is available or latest version of the image is available of that particular application, correct? No? Across all those particular servers, wherever you wanted these applications to be installed, these images will be automatically pulled and the environment is set up. So in because of this kind of concept, so we will never have issue about the deployment part. So every after 15 days, see the situation, sprint, some kind of new additions has been done. So image has been tested, everything has been tested, pushed to the Docker Hub, and just within one particular hardly 15 to 20 minutes of time, during the time of like where applications are not being used that time, I think this particular thing has been replication has been taken place, and just suddenly the whole world is actually having the latest feature with this application. So this deployment was one of the major challenge during the test or during the time of your SDLC waterfall model. You know, it's been totally now eliminated and things been much more simplified and fasterly done inside this whole area. So that is what we talked about. Docker Hub, then we learned Docker command. Anybody remember which are those Docker commands? I just wanted before we get started because today we also record that one. That's the reason.
Docker build -t.
Yeah, so we use yeah, all those commands supposed to be started with the root account, no? So that means always write sudo docker run sudo something. So what is the docker build command? Second is docker run command. Another is docker ps command. Another is docker
image.
images. sudo docker images. So sudo docker images, sudo docker ps, sudo docker run, sudo docker build. Okay, even there is one more command is available. Just remember, docker compose. Docker compose. So you can also create a docker image by using docker compose. Okay, for the thing you need to write something called that particular docker compose.yaml file. In case of docker build, which file we created? Remember, docker file, no? Here we created docker file. In this case, we use docker compose.yaml file. Just to remember, docker, I think it's docker -compose dot YAML file. Any other command which I forgot? How to kill any how to remove any particular image instance?
RMI.
Docker
Install.
image
Uh,
RM.
if you want to remove image, it's a docker RMI remove image. Correct? No, docker remove image, and then we pass some ID and then write -f. No,
Sir,
forcefully we remove.
hello, sir.
Yes,
I think your screen is on
Can you
only.
pause that?
my screen is not getting visible. Just do let me know.
It's just Chrome one.
Just 1 minute.
Only the GitHub page was visible, sir.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Now it is.
Oh, that means my first screen was visible. Correct, no?
Yes.
Now I think you can see my notepad file properly.
Yes.
Good. So Docker RMI, Docker Compose, Docker Images, Docker PS, Docker Run, Docker Build,
Docker
and Docker Kill. Very good. Docker Kill. So many commands are there, but majorly used commands are this. Again, you want to push your image to the Docker hub. Docker push. You want to pull that image? Docker pull. Correct? No? Remember which are those two images we tried pulling from Docker hub? One was that NG and X, no? And second, that was just like a hello -world, right? Yeah, right. Anything? Okay, please remember one more word. Docker swarm. What is Docker swarm? Can I just go back and type here? Docker swarm. Docker swarm. Swarm. Docker swarm is an orchestration management tool that runs on Docker applications. So it is an orchestration management tool that runs on Docker applications. So Docker itself has their own kind of orchestration engine, and that orchestration engine actually we call as a Docker swarm. So I think we have image here itself. Let me just see. Good. So here you could see the image. What do you get? A virtual machine, and you get a Docker container. It is the same kind of thing picture we have discussed. Correct? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a picture we already discussed of virtualization versus this thing itself. Correct? No? Good. Now coming back to the next further diagram. To keep your applications always alive, availability. Correct? No? So availability, it is the problem which is very, very important non-functional requirements for any particular online application that is addressed because of this particular container orchestration tools. So if you look around the diagram, could you get something? So we always find your application is always created and deployed in the form of like a container image. And when the container image is given, so we wanted to see that as this application will keep access, by your customers. So during that time, your existing containers will have only few kind of requests they can handle it like that way. So during that time, if you want to handle more requests, so automatically this particular Docker hub, okay, will automatically spawn more than one instances of that container images. So as I said that key scale in or scale out based on the load is going to be decided automatically by this particular Docker Swarm tool. So Docker Swarm tool, it is nothing but a kind of orchestration management tool, which is acting like a scheduler, you can say. Within your operating system, we have a scheduler, and the scheduler is responsible for scheduling the task for execution. Might be we talked about there are different types of scheduling algorithms has been used for scheduling your processes. So here I will say here is a one kind of like a kind of task manager, which is a part of Docker Swarm, who is responsible for looking over the request load. We'll try to create uh, 30 containers or 40 containers or 70 containers, or if the request loads are going down, so reducing down those particular container instances. So that is what exactly people normally say. It is nothing but your components. So Docker container, Docker daemon. What do you get? We always manually run those things. In this case, what do we get? So everything is been automatically handled. That is what we normally picture inside this area. So just remember the word very well. The word I said, what is that? It is your Docker Swarm. And correspondingly, Google's word is what? Kubernetes. And Microsoft word is what? Azure DevOps. Azure Container Services. Like that way. Okay. Slightly revise those points and coming back with our discussions. So today we are at this level where we know everything. That means we know how to gather the requirements. We also understand how we always need to understand from the customer's perspective, from the different roles perspective. We understood what is analysis. We understood what is development. We also design the development. Then we also understood coding, because we spend a lot of time for doing your normal programming, coding, object orientation programming, Windows web application development, database programming, then server side programming, client side programming, building a UI, building your web API, writing database connectivity code, organizing your data in the form of RDB mess, writing certain logic at the database level in the form of stored process, writing the logic of CRUD operations in the form of repositories, writing the logic in the form of services as a reusable services components, and also trying to write a business logic along with that. And we know how to expose that all kind of logic for mobile clients, or might be for your web clients or Windows clients, or might be third-party web services. We call REST API. So we know programming part. Also, we spend our good time on Saturday about if your software is already been available, so how this software would be tested. How your software is always going to be a zero defect product whenever you make it available on a production environment. So we discuss our production environment, testing environment, and then again something called developer environment. So we also talked about STLC, software testing life cycle. We also talked about something called test cases. We also learn about what is the test plan, what's the test case, correct? And how these test cases will be identified, how these test cases will be reviewed, and how these test cases will be kept in the form of like a number of spreadsheet documents, so that in future this particular test cases will be given for a tester, and the tester will actually test your software according to the steps given, and they will say whether the test is passed or failed, and they will maintain that particular test report, and the test report will be submitted to the customer and as well as to the development team, so that the development team will rework on those particular bugs which they have been which your tester team has identified, and then again the modifications will be done, and again that code will be given to you, so that again same test will be re-executed. So when the same steps will be re-executed, so you have two things now. You could do that particular work by using manual testing, or you will do it by using automation testing. So for manual testing, we really have people who are human being who would actually follow those instructions, and will see things are working as per the expectations, and if they're working perfectly, they're just passing the test or failing the test. But we know it's a repetitive work, monotonous work, and huge pages going through a really difficult part. So during that time, we say that I think it's best way to use something like a browser automation tool. So we spend time for understanding about something called a browser automation tool, correct? No? Selenium. We'll come across Selenium ID. We come across something called Selenium Web Driver, correct? No? Then we just try to see that key, how Selenium ID will help us to generate automation script, which will help us to do UI testing of your website. And that particular automation script you can convert in the form of Java or in the C Sharp or C++ or in the Python form, correct? No? And we have observed there's something called OpenQA.Selenium, like a packages have been used. Then we also did one thing, can we just create simple kind of .NET application, and under that .NET application, can we add that, what is that, Selenium dependency, and we would be able to keep that code and see that code is perfectly working. By going in more details of those APIs about OpenQA, you will have a lot of other options. So if someone wanted to go for this particular Selenium automation testing word, so you should have minimum background of HTML, basics of JavaScript, document object model, and you should have a good kind of knowledge about the Selenium API. And plus, you will have access to your test cases. So when all these things are there, then you will call yourself that I am a Selenium automation test engineer, and my job is to write such kind of test cases in the form of my Visual Studio C# code or might be Java code, and I'll keep everything in my GitHub. I'll keep go on refining continuously as the requirement gets slightly changed. So I have to readjust my own test cases. So it's a continuous development is going on. At the same time, continuous test case writing, test case review also will be going on parallelly, hand in hand. So we find there's a perfect balance between the software development and the software testing, which is actually leading to the quality product to the customer that we discussed. Then we also come across something called testing framework, correct? No? So we talk about N unit, we talk about X unit, we talk about MS test. I tried to write a simple kind of like a program. So we also introduce a word. What is the word? TDD, test driven development, correct? No? So test driven development, it is the approach has been followed for reducing the timeline for your software development, so that the software developer will not write any unnecessary code, correct? No? That is what exactly we discuss on those particular areas. I hope all of you learned during your college, your Java and .NET solid principles. Do let me know. Everybody is very much comfortable with the solid principles. Yes, no? Single response. What is a single responsibility principle? Any other thing? In our points also were mentioned there. One was a solid. Second was dry. Correct, no? Third was this. Okay. Again, there was something called clean code strategy. Yes. So I don't have to focus because you already may have covered these particular points very well in your coding level. How exactly your ASP.NET MVC or Spring MVC really makes this particular framework being consistently followed, so that your code will become more standard code, and other team members also will be able to understand your code in that particular way. Okay, good. Now let us come back. So I purposefully took this particular 15 minutes of time just to revise everything, so that you'll understand ki in last week what are the kind of topics we covered, what are the kind of points we gone through. Okay, so you would not require much time now further for any other revision. I would suggest, if you have gone through our last week's session very well, and you are going through those particular notes which have been shared, I don't think you'll really require extra more efforts we put for getting yourself prepared for the CC exam of for SDM model perspective. So that was also one more main intention to take this particular 15 minutes of time so that you will be taken to that particular flow itself. So let's come back and focus on the point. That point is called as a CI CD pipeline. Jenkins pipeline. These are my today's topics. So it might happen that if you could do it this particular time till 10 o'clock, good. If by ending, we will do it after 10:30 also. CI/CD. But before that, I like to use the point pipeline word. Did you come across this pipeline word in your coding till now, up till now, whatever you have done? Yes. Would you please help me? Where do you come across this pipeline word in your SEDAC course learnings? Pipeline. Or any specific word you might have come across. Just yeah, use your slightly brain, thoda sa. Oh, you're using your brain or just want to Miss, can you recall?
Not recalling it.
Pardon?
Not recalling at this moment.
No worries. But still, uh, this word, or might be there is another word you might have come across, may not be as a pipeline, but might be something word like as middleware.
Yes.
So remember, we always say there is a user, users are using their machine, and they all are going to access your server side application technology, server side application. So always find, then here you really have your complete logic. So any kind of web technology you use here. So requests are created, requests are traveled over the wire, request goes through certain interceptors. So if I'm just focusing from our .NET application point of view, so we'll say this is going to be a complete ASP.NET web application process. My job is to explain what is pipeline, because once I understand the pipeline very well, I would be able to explain what is CI/CD pipeline. But today I'm able to draw diagram properly. So we say request goes, request goes, request enters through this particular components. So what we call them? We call them as middleware. Yes, or sometimes people to use word called as a HTTP pipeline. Okay, we use the word called HTTP pipeline. So your HTTP request goes through and your HTTP response is generated. So how exactly request is created, how request is been filtered, how request will be processed, and how response will be generated, and how the response will be again resent back to the class customer. Right? So that complete cycle is actually what we call as a HTTP pipeline. So its HTTP pipeline is consistent across every web technologies. So what we observe, we will have a concept here called as a middleware. So we use HTTP, correct? No, you will use word called HTTP modules, session state module, cache module, okay, output cache module, then localization module. Number of different types of modules would have been configured to provide multilingual support, session management support, caching support. Then CORS. I hope you come across word called CORS. What is this? Cross-site scripting. So that any kind of request will come from different domain. That request also we would like to allow to enter inside. Authentication, authorization. So number one, authorization. Number two, session management. Number three, caching. Number four, CORS. Number five, body parsing. Okay, body parsing and so on things. And might be caching, return, session management return, authentication return, and so on things. You can just keep it. I'm just keeping a dot dot dot. That means in future, so you can add some customized filtration. And then once the request goes, there's a concept here I will call router. Then we have a concept controllers. Then we have concept services. Then we have concept repositories. Then we have concept here view engine. And then we have a concept called views. We have a concept models. So what do you find? See, it's a pipeline where each and every pull request goes in the same kind of way. So 10,000 requests per second will go in the same way. Router based on the route URL, controllers, from the controllers to the services, from services to the repositories, from repositories might be back to the database and getting that data, making it available making it available, generating the models. This model sent to the view. The views are given to the view engine, and finally we find it here the corresponding HTML, CSS generated. That is what we call as a response. View will generate the response. Now this response again goes through this HTTP models, and we say here comes your response. And to the same customer we find the final output. So this complete request response lifecycle, listen carefully, this complete request response lifecycle is actually what we call as a HTTP pipeline. So like that way, if it is a web application execution pipeline, so is the similar kind of pipeline we also try to specify for our complete software development process. You gather the requirement and you deploy to the customer's production server, and customer start consuming that particular application. So in that thing, we know that uh, designers are going to work, product owners are going to work, Scrum team is going to work, developers are going to work, front-end developers are going to work, back-end developers are going to work, your core Java developers will be working, okay, illustrators will be working, your testers will be working, your test engineers also will be working, your automation test script modifications will be also happening. And at the same time, you wanted this application, whatever it's created, it should go through the build process. It should go through compilation process. It should go for build process. It will go to the corresponding test environment. So during that time, we should be able to actually run those test cases against it. And if test cases have been perfectly worked, then again, we have to replicate that particular software to the production environment, and on a production environment, then we also would like to carry about something called customer acceptance testing. So the complete cycle actually get we really call as nothing but continuous delivery, continuous integration. So when I just go back, I hope whether I kept that image or not. Somewhere I was going through that image. Let me just check it. Let me open my desktop first. It is my desktop. Desktop. Can I see large icons? View large, extra large icons. Very good, very one good image actually. Somewhere Sunday or Saturday, I try to keep it for you. Not it here. Might be on downloads. Let me just check it once. And I'll come back for the discussion. Types. If I could just see large icons. Good, fantastic. Could you see image? CI/CD pipeline. Changes in the code will be pushed to the code repository. As the code is available in a code repository, there might be some particular event will be triggered, and based on that event, now that code will be cloned on another machine. That machine we call as a build server. So the build server where your code is being built, its binaries will be created. Okay, no? Now it's okay that your software is very small software which is developed by you only. So since the code base is very small, so you can build it on your local machine itself. But think about you are really working in a company called Quick Hill, and you have your own kind of Quick Hill itself is a product, antivirus product. So definitely this particular code base of that particular Quick Hill itself is going to be such a huge code base which need to be built. So one developer machine will not be sufficient for building that particular quick antivirus software code, because that will contain something called more than 17,000-18,000 source code files, and 17,000-18,000 source code files. Out of them, there are certain files would be C++ files. Out of them, there are certain files would be some certain Java files. There would be certain kind of front end as a web applications, and there would be certain front end will be as a Windows UI front end, and they all are getting developed by more than something called 17 different teams in the Quick Hill company. So Quick Hill, it is a Pune-based antivirus making company, correct? No, and they have their own kind of like a global product. So definitely, this particular product really not only getting developed using one technology. Listen carefully. So this particular product has been created by number of models. So there is something called Windows compatible, Linux compatible, again some other kind of compatible. Again, there are certain models purely written using C++. There are certain models which are written using Java. Certain models are written by using like a plain web technologies. Okay, no? So that means multiple technologies are there itself, and that whole kind of code base is actually kept in their own kind of GitHub repositories. So definitely such kind of build, if you want to carry out, no, you will really require a separate kind of build environment itself. I will call it the build environment. And under that build environment, you'll have something called uh, a build environment for Java, the build environment for .NET dependencies, build environments for Java dependencies, build environment for C++ dependencies, build environment for Node.js dependencies. And if those builds are there on those particular builds, on a Java build environment, you'll use Maven, and other thing you'll use your npm, other things will use your like a pip install. So these things has been properly configured, and you have got a separate team which are called build managers, who are responsible for taking those all kind of builds and running those builds. So we know we just use simple .NET application or Java application, which will take hardly something 1 or 2 seconds to build that particular software. But when I'm talking like a perfect enterprise application, so this build process once get started, might it take something 6 months of time for recompilation of those all kind of code on different machines and creating their artifacts. And those artifacts will be again kept in a corresponding output folders, different output folders. So that itself will be something called 6-8 hours process, rigorously done properly by your build engineers. And once they are available, then what do you get here? Once the build is perfectly ready, then we are really going for something called pre-deployment test. Okay, so whether those all builds have been successfully created or not created, or is that particular build is failed. Okay, so if those builds are failed, you really need to check those particular log files, and based on that log file, come to know why the build has been failed. Might be the previous version of the DLL and this version of DLL is not matching perfectly. Otherwise, there's something called like a version incompatibility. Because of that, your Maven is getting failed. Might be a pom.xml files versions are not been properly matching. So that need to be resolved. I'm talking about this is what you call a perfect thing. Okay, so developers will writing the code, pushing the code. Code is pushed, the build engine will be started. Build engine will actually go through a build process where different build environments are created, and under the build environments, the building is going on. Means compilation, linking, and again linting and converting its binary images, binary image software components. And during that time, the logs are maintained. Dependencies are resolved. Version tracking has been taken place. Pre-deployment test will be taken place. You will run your test. Might be here you would like to see unit test done, you like to go for system test, you like to go for model test, you like to go for other kind of stuff test. Okay, these all kind of tests would have been done. If the tests have been perfect, then what do you find in your environment? Can you get insight? Staging environment. Now, up till now, we only discussed about something called like what is that? Developer environment, then testers environment, and production environment. But now we're adding one more extra environment in between: developer environment, testers environment, staging environment. Does anyone know what is staging? Staging environment. Anybody come across this word? Staging environment. Production environment, we know where actually applications been deployed on those servers, which are now published all internet, and now users are using your e-commerce application. We call it a production environment. But before production environment, now we are introducing over something called as a staging environment.
Pre-production.
Pardon?
Pre-production environment, we would say, because in the diagram it is also its flow is showing to test as well.
Yeah.
All the test.
Very good. Why pre-production environment is required? That's perfect. Right? Staging environment. You perfectly said. Your staging environment is a pre-production environment. Before your application is made available to the production environment, we wanted these applications to be taken into the staging area. We don't want any particular bugs will be get occurred in a production environment. So why don't you do one thing? Can you create a simulated environment of a production environment as another environment? So that means you will have a separate environment which is almost similar replica like a production environment. And on that particular environment, we do that deployment and you run all your tests. So it is never recommended to do your testing on a production environment. Whatever testing you like to carry out, load testing, stress testing, smoke testing, white box testing, black box testing, do whatever thing on this particular staging environment. Because in that particular thing, if any tests are failed, so during that time, it is not a production environment. So we can say our customer is not disturbed. Our end users are not disturbed. So it is exactly similar like a production environment has been created, staging environment. And on the staging environment, your test has been taken place. And when there's all kind of tests, so this particular staging environment might be your application will be kept running over there for almost next 7 to 8 days. And for 7 to 8 days, our test engineers, our business analysts, they all are just watching whether things are going as per the expectations. And if everything goes perfectly, then only now you say, yes, now we are thoroughly tested. Now, I recommend this product to be made available for your production server, where now this application, once this goes live, so your end users will start using that thing. That is what exactly we really call the environment. And under that thing, what we observe, when your application is running on a production environment, so during that time, so there is concept called as a monitor and logging. Okay, it is called as a monitor and logging. Monitor and logging means the applications deployed on a production environment, customers have started using, their end users, their vendors, their shipping industry, your shipping vendors are using, and really that product catalog, shopping cart, order processing, online payment, shipping is working perfectly. And during that time, the data is getting continuously generated about the application. That is right. But at the same time, there is some kind of like a logging and monitoring tool has been kept where your DevOps engineers are reading those log files and finding event viewer, finding system log files, and based on that, they're just predicting, yes, things are going as per the expectations. Because they will not see customers' data, but they will see these methods are getting work perfectly, these services are getting called perfectly, these repositories are getting invoked properly. Okay, so how many times these repositories are getting invoked, how many times the data has been pushed in a cache, how many times these particular containers are getting reproduced, how many times the containers are having a load. That all kind of data has been continuously be generated, which is daily inspected, and they're ensuring the production application is never stop and things are going perfectly. This is what exactly what we really call as nothing but CI/CD pipeline. But whenever I just go back and try to type it, okay, I'll share this diagram with you also. I'm coming back and looking about here inside. CI/CD. And I go back and select option called images. Now I get picture. CI/CD pipeline. Can you represent this particular picture in a perfect way? So here we really come across one picture. Accept cookies. So in-depth overview of continuous integration and continuous delivery pipeline. Correct, no? For some particular organization. Can I just go back and show you something? Whatever we discussed, we try to find code. This is the kind of diagram we always represent for the code. So the code is certified. Good. The code is pushed to the GitHub. Okay. Second, validate commit. So there might be some kind of thing like that. Whenever someone commits the code, so during that time again, whether the commit is perfect or not, again there will be something called a verification will be taken place. The kind of tools I use, Jira, changelog maintenance, build process. Once the builds are created, those builds would have been stored in some particular repositories. Your build servers will be having. Then again, you'll have something called like a Sonar Cube, which is going to review your code coverage and everything. Again, some other thing, SC, code review things. Then you go for publish. Then you go for deployment. Then whenever you want to deploy, where do you want to deploy? See, if the publishing to be done, how this publishing will be done? Can you get something here? That will be published in the form of something called Docker container images to the Docker Hub. And once they're published in a Docker Hub, the next thing, what is that? Now this particular container images to be deployed to the test servers, or whether they are to be deployed for some QA servers or some other levels. And during that, we just capture the data. So what we try to see, it's a continuous pipeline. It goes and terminates somewhere. Correct? That is what exactly take it here. Now, big companies use some big softwares. So these are softwares have been just represented. What are the kind of different softwares are there? Can you get one picture here? Runtime. This symbol is actually represented as the Kubernetes symbol. So whenever the deployment thing comes, you decide, I wanted this thing to be deployed in the form of like a automated containers management part. So Kubernetes deployment or AWS deployment or might be Azure deployment. That has been taken care. So this complete process, what we really call is nothing but your CI/CD pipeline. Simplified diagram, more. If you want to take it here, if I just go back here inside, again I come back on this one. So it should be such a way that you commit the change. As you make certain commit to your repository, there is some kind of event will be triggered. As the event is triggered, the build will happen. Once the build is created, logs will be maintained. And once the builds are created, we will run the application in some other particular environment. I hope you learn Visual Studio .NET. You learn .NET using Visual Studio or VS Code. Did you come across number of commands? Would you please tell me? There is a concept called .NET CLI. You know what is the meaning of CLI? Command line
Command line
interface. Did you come across command like this way? .NET new SLN .NET new console -o. Okay. Hello app. Then .NET SLN add hello app .cs proj. Then you then what I means whatever. Did you use this kind of commands in in your .NET application development?
No, sir. We use
No, sir.
Because yeah,
Visual Studio. Sir.
because we use Visual Studio.NET. So whenever we use Visual Studio.NET or open, we were using project templates to build application, correct? No?
Yes.
And over here, our job was very simple. You just go back and select create new project. And when the create new project option was select create new, then we might have chosen option called blank solution. I want to create a blank solution. See, this is a process. It's a process. First, create solution. Test solution. Listen, test solution. Create solution. Put it somewhere. It's a process. It's a pipeline. So on D drive, on Sirak Mumbai, might be day 5. Day 5. For a build pipeline point of view, this whole process is supposed to be done automatically. And if you want automatically, no human being intervention will happen. So no one will try to create a project by manually. So can this whole thing will be done by one script? So can we write one script and the one script will just do the every work for us hardly by one click. So see what we do, what we are done like that way. Create new project, blank solution created. Then you go back inside, add new project. Then we go back, select console application. That is what you did. Okay, we call this applications template creation process. It's a process. I want to create a process. Hello app. Okay. Next. Done. Coding is not important. Process is important. So what happened? One blank solution was created. Under one blank solution, one console application is created. Right? Second, I want to add one more library. Add now next third process inside that third step. So that means you'll have a process, and within a process you'll have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Might be within a step 1 you'll have again sub step 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Step 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. So that means we try to organize our complete job in the form of number of steps. Each step will again have sub jobs, and every job will have some kind of task. And this whole thing has been organized. And we would like that work will be automatically done. Okay. Here, this work we would do like that way, and we add here class add new project. You select here class library, right? Reusable lib something, some kind of library. You can keep adding number of libraries. So now you have one particular solution. Under that one solution, you'll have one particular class library. You have got another particular thing called uh, class library. One is a console application, and you also want to have one more test project. Software testing point of view, also like to have project. You again go back and right click on this area, add new project, MS test project, test project, some test project. Might be under that area there is simple like a code, correct? No, so might be assert.r equal to some kind of thing. Logic would be I'm just skipping some test. Again might be another test. Visual Studio makes your life so easy. to do all kind of stuff. And if all those things are there, what do you do? If all those things are there, you just do one thing. You just try to click the button called execute, or you just select option called, where's the option? Build. What's the option you select? Build. What is the option you get here? Batch build. Why you are calling batch build? Because there are so many projects are available. Do you want all those projects to be built? We say yes, we want all, select all. So whenever I say build, so it will only build only one active project. But when I want to build all, I select batch build. Batch means all build will be done. Close. And you will select that build. Work will be taken care. Build will be taken care. These all those things you are up till now you are doing the coding level itself. But I don't want to do like that way without using this whole kind of Visual Studio.NET. Can the work will be done? Yes. Can I just do one thing? Go back to my D drive. I have shown you this is what exactly mechanically developer with the help of ID is doing that particular process management. Correct? No? Yeah. So I would just do one thing. Go back to the D drive. Find this headache Mumbai. Go to the A4. Now look very carefully. E-commerce. I close Visual Studio.NET. I wanted this whole thing will be done using step by step. So can you define a application creation pipeline? Can you create a e-commerce application creation pipeline? Done. But here I would just use command line tool. Now here I'm using CMD. Look very carefully what is going on. Now I type the command. See, I use .NET CLI command, .NET command line interface commands. So if you have a .NET SDK core install, if .NET core SDK is installed, you can completely create the process. So I type it here. .NET new SLN. Look what happened. What happened? Did you observe something? .NET new SLN command was typed. Automatically there is a solution file got created. I did not use Visual.NET. I want to create a console application. .NET new console -o. Correct, no? E-commerce console app, enter. What do you observe? Could you get automatically console application project got created with your program.c file, everything? Am I using Visual.NET? Tell me. I'm not at all using. Can I go back? .NET new console, I'll replace and I write here .NET new class lib. I write here catalog. What happened? There's a catalog class library project was added. Can I go back? .NET new class lib. Shopping cart. Yes. Can I go back and show you what is happening? Your command line tool is actually allowing you to use certain command line interface where each and every command you just run and correspondingly behind the corresponding project structure, the corresponding skeleton code, everything is just getting created as it is. Oh, I want to create a MVC application. Then what right here? .NET new okay web API okay Auth API .NET New Web -O REST API, no? File new web API project I would like to create. Can you just look around? Auth API project structure script created. Right? I would like to have MVC application. .NET New MVC. .NET New MVC. You know? Web portal. Enter. Can you get what happened? I think you use Visual Studio and you're doing that whole kind of stuff. No, now I'm trying to do everything by using this command line interfaces. These are my all kind of steps. Step 1, create class library. Step 2, create this console application. Step 4, create blank solution. Create this thing. Create .NET project. .NET New. Okay. Test. .NET New test -O. Okay. Product catalog tests. Enter. Correct. So .NET New test -O. I think might be the template we have to give that name information. .NET New MS test. If I'm not wrong, that is the command I think. Yes, MS test. All are there. Now you really want to go back and you want to build the project. So what is that? Can I use a command .NET build? What happened? As type a command .NET build, I think the corresponding e-commerce solution has been built. Determine to project restore. Unable to find any particular project. Why? Because this number of individual projects are created, but the projects are not added to the solution. So that means the build is succeed, but it says that there is no any particular project inside that solution. Physically folders are there, but logically under the e-commerce solution, those projects are not added. So might be there should be some kind of command. .NET SLN add. What is that? Slash. I have to use dot. What is that? You use current folder. Dot slash dot means current slash catalog slash catalog dot csproj. Can you get what happened? Now he says now your solution is added. Now your solution is now using your catalog project. Same thing. I wanted to use what is another thing? See, shopping cart. That shopping cart slash shopping cart dot csproj. Csproj stands for C sharp project file. Might be my file path was not written wrong. So what should I write here? See, shopping cart slash shopping cart dot csproj file. Is the spelling written perfectly?
So shopping spelling.
Shopping.
CS project.
CSP origin, no? SHO.
3P,
Oh,
3P were there, sir. 3P.
I'm sorry, by mistake I made a 3P. Shopping cart. That's the problem. I wanted my console application. So what did we give the name for that console application? Have you observed? Web portal, product catalog test. So product catalog test slash the product catalog this. So what happened? Whatever right now I just tried all the commands here, and now I use command .NET build. Now look very well. What is going on? So it has compiled your shopping cart into DLL. It has compiled your product catalog into DLL. It has compiled your catalog into DLL. Done. Now can I just go back inside? Now what do you want to do? Can I use .NET run? Enter. It says I cannot get the .NET run. I want which project you want to run. So you write here .NET run. It says that couldn't find the project. Ensure the project exists in e-commerce and pass the path to the project using hyphen hyphen. That means .NET run hyphen hyphen project and give that path of that particular application so that only that particular project will be run. So what we are trying to understand inside this area, that means I wanted to give the information inside this area completely using commands. Can I just take all those commands? These all kind of commands are there. I'm just copying these all kind of commands. Select all. Coming back, select all. Select all. Can you find command copy? Copy. I come back to our notepad file. .NET New SLN, .NET to console, series of commands. Here is the command. Here is the command. Here is the command. Here is the command. So what do you get? Everywhere you find these commands are defined. And might be you're interested to run the test as well. So whichever is the test project available, we have created inside. Can I see which is the test project created? This project is created. So we may go back here and use the command, something called cd product catalog test change directory. And once you write a directory, you just use a command called .NET test. That's it. Or you really want to run your application, which is a .NET new console application which you created last time. So .NET new SLN added, .NET new SLN added. Here I created my .NET new test project. Please understand, it's a sequential organization of your every process which is commonly required to be created. Now perfectly settled. What do you observe? My first command, .NET New SLN, create solution. Step 2, create my console application. Step 3, create my class library. Create my shopping cart class library. Create my web API. Or please create my web portal. Please create my test project. This is the wrong command. Then you wanted those particular projects which are created. That project should be added to the solution. So solution added, SLN add, SLN add, SLN add, SLN add. That you're just trying to do inside everywhere. E-commerce app, e-commerce app. About MVC web API, that you also want to add it inside. So Auth web API, Auth web API folder. I really want it. Sorry. So I'm trying to show you that this is my Auth web API now. Slash. So everything, whatever you do, you are organizing in the form of steps. And once the steps are there, you try to save this whole kind of thing as a one batch file. In Linux, you come across something called shell script file, no? Where you write one Linux command, you write second Linux command, you write third Linux command, you write fourth Linux command. That means almost 20, 30 Linux commands you are written in one .sh file. And that .sh file become like your batch. I would say it is a pipeline. So pipeline is nothing but set of commands or set of activities has been organized in a one sequence and that you submit for execution. And you decide when which will be executed, how it will be executed. So in a software development process, also we would like to same thing. As soon as my code is completed, as soon as my code is available, let the code will be sent for the compilation process. Once the compilation is successful, let the code will be going for something particular build process. For the build process, let this code will go for the test process. For the test process, then let the code will go for the run process. If the code is run, let me make this code. Let this code will go for the publish process. So please make that publish process, and you set this whole kind of thing itself to some particular scheduler. So in your Linux, we create your batch file. You create your sh file and you submit to the Linux shell. And Linux shell actually take care of executing that each and every command one by one. Now in Windows, you try to make this particular all commands as a one .batch file and you submit this batch file to your DOS prompt. So automatically what happen, I think these all kind of commands will be properly just executed as it is. And one for everything will be taken place. So for a human being to try this number of times to create such kind of skeleton, I think it will take something 15, 30 minutes time just to create the skeleton itself. But if I save this as a one particular perfect pipeline, and whenever I want a similar kind of structure to be recreated, I will just double click that batch file and just within not even second, the whole folder structure step by step, everything will be created. And you can just ask further work to be carried out. So this is what we call actually creating a simple kind of build pipeline for your .NET application. You also might have observed in Java this concept called Maven build, Maven create commands, Maven publish commands, correct? No? So even you can also do the same thing with the Java application, or you can have some command like a Node.js, npm init, which will create a packet.json file. Then you use another kind of commands, and that will make the perfect process. So this is what exactly the ultimate concept is actually called as a pipeline part. And if you want to set this kind of pipeline for your applications and for your complete environment, so during that time, we would really require a dedicated, okay, dedicated server. And that dedicated server is actually what we call as a Jenkins server. So Jenkins, it is a server which has been already been created by some company, and that company said that you just use our Jenkins server, install the Jenkins server in your environment, and our environment will help you to create these all kind of steps, and we will ensure these all steps will be properly taken care and automatically the build, automatically the corresponding compile, automatically corresponding test, and the publishing part will be done inside this area. So this is what exactly we call build is not this particular Jenkins also sometimes we also call as a build server. Build server. Okay, so this is what exactly I'm trying to show you. So in development, our major focus is on what? Building the application, writing the logic for that application, providing the function of the application. And when you talk about CI/CD, it actually focuses more on the process, setting up the infrastructure, setting up that particular conveyor belt, setting up that particular perfectly assembly line. Okay, no. So setting up assembly line is nothing but your CI/CD pipeline, and creating that spare part is nothing but your developer job. You only work on that engine piston part. You only work on that particular chassis part. So you just try to create a perfect chassis, and when chassis will be put, when exactly engine will be fit, how exactly piston will be set up. I think that everything is the kind of recipe is defined. That is what we actually call as a build pipeline environment. So this thing, if you want to have it here, we should know how to use this particular Jenkins server, how to apply it here. The Jenkins server, if you want to use, no, it is actually totally developed using Java technology. That means if you really want to install the Jenkins on your normal machine, you really require a prerequisite. And what is that prerequisite? Java 8.0. If you have a Java 8.0, only then the Jenkins server can be installed on the top of that edge. Then we also need to follow the process to set up here itself, correct? No? So install Jenkins, configure Jenkins, add built-in plugins for Jenkins. Next, create pipeline, and that pipeline you define, okay, define your steps for pipeline, build pipeline, then monitor pipeline. This is what exactly people normally set the environment. So who are responsible for doing this whole kind of setup? So we say role responsible for setting up CI CD is nothing but the role of DevOps engineer. So DevOps engineer is responsible for setting this whole kind of thing itself. If it is properly been set up, then we would be able to see a small pipeline which can be created at least just for notification purpose, how this thing will be taken place. So when I just want to focus, so what do we do? Now I don't have Java 8.0 install on my Windows machine, but I want to get that environment. Then can't we do one thing? Let us learn this whole kind of installation process using our AWS account, correct? No? And let us not waste our time for having that Java 8.0 installables and everything to be taken place. So why don't we look for, is there any Docker image for Jenkins available, so that we can pull that Docker image in our AWS environment. And with the help of that, we will be able to set up this particular uh, Jenkins server, correct? No? So I would like to show this whole kind of process using AWS, and I would like to do that whole thing on my containerized environment. So up till now, whatever practicals we have carried out, whatever steps we carried out, these all kind of steps will use all together, and on the build of on the top of that, we will build our own kind of server. Remember last time when the demo was carried out, so during that time, as you just go back and pull your Nginx server. So what did we do? We just started our AWS account, then we created EC2 instance, then we enable firewall. Then second thing what we to do, then we actually updated our Linux. Then we install Docker. Then we check Docker is running perfectly. Then we pull the image of Nginx. And once the Nginx image was pulled, we use that command. What is that? Docker sudo docker run. Yeah, sudo docker run. And that particular dash d dash p, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
8080 port. And then we really saw that
Colon N.
in, yeah, colon 8080. And we got that particular uh, Nginx server started, and we access from our external port, correct? No? And it just worked. So like that way, we will also do something. Now, rather than using Nginx, can we use the Jenkins server image? And then we will try to learn how that particular Jenkins installation and this whole process will be carried out. Okay, no? So this is what exactly somehow I think you need to know basic things. So we would like that exactly demo to be carried out.
So do we
Correct?
need to know about how to configure the Jenkins, how to create our own Jenkins file?
That is what exactly I'm going to show you.
Okay.
So that is because if you want to do that work, you have to get the environment first ready, no?
Yes.
Once you have this whole environment is created, then only we will go inside that Jenkins. We have to really configure Jenkins. Then we have to really go back under and we have to write our own Jenkins steps using that Jenkins file. So we want that work to be carried out. So let us just do one thing. If this is the thing to be carried out, I think what are our first steps? Our basic step up till now we created. Using AWS EC2 instance. Number one, login to AWS console. Please log into your AWS console. Second, create new instance EC2 with Ubuntu. Step number 3, set up security group to allow traffic from anywhere, because I want to access from my Pune machine that Jenkins server which is going to run in Mumbai. Set up security group to allow traffic from anywhere with IPv4. Step number 4, connect to EC2 instance. I think this will repeat your whatever we have done up now. EC2 instance. Step number 5, update EC2 instance Linux 6, install Docker, start Docker. Now pull ng-inx container image from Docker Hub. Okay. Start running. Sorry, not ng-inx. I made mistake. Jenkins. Then start running Jenkins container instance. Step 10. Access your Jenkins server URL from your local machine using HTTP colon IP address EC2 port number 8080. Then configure Jenkins server. Create admin user with password. Access admin Jenkins dashboard. Access admin Jenkins dashboard for setting up pipeline. Write simple Jenkins file with steps to define control flow. Step number 15, build pipeline. Review and check console about execution of pipeline. So this is what exactly we would like to perform steps for getting this environment perfectly worked out. So at least we'll first do one thing. At least we'll just make the situation at this level where we would be able to see our Jenkins is properly been configured here. Okay. So out of that, these steps are almost similar, whatever we have done up till now. So let's do that thing first. First here, it's getting all those environment, right? So I'm going back to my Chrome browser. For your understanding, for your keeping track point of view, I'm also sharing this particular steps in your chat so that we will just, you will also try to check, cross check, are we doing the same thing with the same sequence? Is it available to you as well? Do let me know.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So let's come. Let's keep it now all aside. Whatever work we like to do it here, we would like to do that all kind of work inside the EC2. Coming back, trying to access AWS console, sign to the console. We are trying to log into Amazon console. Nate is there, no? Yeah. Sign as a root user. It's my email address. I'm giving. So let me provide my credentials. So even if you don't have your AWS account created, you can just watch mine. But I would suggest once this our work is done, you will do it on your own AWS revision. Okay, so we are here now. EC2 instance. So instance running 0. Launch instance. Stack Jenkins. Let us use Ubuntu. EC2 T2 micro key pair. Monday Stack deciding PPK file. Done. Set up everything as it is.
Yes, sir.
Launch instance. Now, what is the step? Can you just check if instance been there? Security, no? Firewall.
Yes, sir. Firewall.
Security. Launch wizard.
So we could have also used that previous security groups, right?
You can use it. Actually, it's good to use existing that security group. You can go back and delete remaining unnecessary kept open those particular secret group. You can use existing secret group as well. But I would try to prefer same this different step, because at least because of that you will see the steps repeated. Correct? No, that's the reason.
Okay.
What is the option?
All
All
traffic.
All traffic. For before.
Any
IPv4.
IPv4. So done. I think we have done that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Instances running. Uh, IP CMD command just to check it's pinging. So video fine, it's getting ping. That means now we would be able to access the chip. So even if you just go back and try to access that port, are we getting anything? It is just published, no?
Yes, sir.
It's a empty virtual machine and nothing inside right now. We wanted inside Jenkins to be installed, no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we are expecting that whenever you try to access, you should get the Jenkins servers web page. But right now it's like there is no such kind of thing. I will, because we just created that instance. It's a blank. We have to now go back inside. Okay. Purpose I'm just keeping things so that you will observe at this moment it is not giving me access, but now I'm going back. Here is my thing. I want to connect to this Jenkins cluster over here. So let me just go back and find connect now. Connect. Login username is Ubuntu. Connect. So we have this screen. Clear. So first, what is our job? Update, no?
Update.
Yes, sir.
Sudo apt update. This will update our Linux with latest packages. Done. Next, if it is updated, we want to install Docker, no? So which
Yes,
is that
sir.
command? You remember? The command which we use to install Docker.
Sudo apt install docker.io.
Sudo apt install docker.io. Good. So now I could really check Docker -v. So I can see there's a versions available. But I want to see whether this Docker is running or not. What is that command we use?
Docker
Sudo system
CTL
ctl
status
status
Docker.
Docker.
Sorry,
Sorry,
status.
status spelling not written properly. So yes, our Docker is enabled. It is active. It is running. Correct, no? Now we wanted this sudo Docker will run with the user account of Ubuntu. Means can we allow this pretty Docker will also keep attached with your user account which is called Ubuntu. So there is command user mod command you might have come across, no? Remember?
Yes, sir.
We use that command. Let me just go back further. Proceed. So sudo, na? Yes. Sudo user mod -a -g Docker. Which service? My service is Docker service. Docker service. And what is your account? Ubuntu. Okay, set. Now what is required? You wanted a Docker container will be pulled. Sorry, now Jenkins container will be pulled. That container, once it is pulled, that container image will be downloaded inside this environment, and we want it to be run. So there's a command called sudo docker run command we always use, no? So I already kept the command. One thing I just put it properly. Where's our notepad file? Here is a notepad file. The command is like this. Sudo docker run -d-p 8080:8080 -p 5000. I wanted to keep it to be accessing 8080, or if someone wanted to use for this 5000, you can really make on two port different ports to be made available. I want to set that one. Good. -d stands for detach mode. -p stands for port. What
Could
will
you
be the name? Image Jenkins. Correct, no? So this is what exactly the Jenkins name image is going to go properly. Yeah. Can I go
is
back?
it 5,000 or 50,000?
It's a 5000. We could keep it on, put it this one 8080. Where the command is perfectly set up. Sudo docker -d-p -v Jenkins homes. Go to the Jenkins homes, find that image. Okay, give the name, and we wanted to see the image like this. where the command is perfectly written. Sudo docker run dash d dash p hyphen v Jenkins homes where home hyphen name slash Jenkins. Yeah. Jenkins slash Jenkins LTS. Yeah, I think the image is available. Let me copy this image, this thing, and come back. Setup inside. Let's enter. So it is getting now latest one. The image is getting downloaded.
Can
And
you share the
once it,
command in
yeah, I'll
chat?
share the command. Yeah. Okay. So it is telling us there is one particular image is downloaded, and when I use my command here at this moment, sudo docker ps. Can you see there's a container running? Have you observed? Yes. The container is running. Eight zero eight zero 8080 vnames. One was for your HTTP and second was for your 5000, that was for TCP. I think it is going to work. Let us see. Now, if it is available, can we really go back and try to use this port and see, are we able to get something? Have you observed? So that means the Jenkins is installed, container is running over there. Now, we wanted to go back and we wanted to see that now you please need to configure your Jenkins server. Now what happened? Container, Jenkins container is running within a Docker. Docker is running within your AWS instance. And now I am in Pune. I'm directly accessing the Jenkins server, which is there inside that container. Now I want to configure the Jenkins server so that I could understand what Jenkins server, what are the kind of things I will inside, and how do I really write a simple kind of like a pipeline for that thing. So it says that as soon as you just installed Jenkins installable, you will actually come back to this page. Now it asked me question. Now to ensure Jenkins is securely properly set up for a username password, you really require a password. So I think this password, if I want to get here, I need a command. I really require a command. If I want that command to be the password, administrator password required, I have to extract this particular thing from my EC2 instance. I type the command here, docker exec docker sudo docker sudo docker exec Jenkins. Okay, and you will try to find that password at this particular directory level. Enter. So you observe some documented password under that particular file system is available, that is extracted, and now it is there inside. So let us copy this password. Come back to Jenkins. Paste the password. Continue. Done.
Sir, can you share that password command in the chat box?
Yes, I'll share the password command in chat box as well. Oh, password command, no?
Yes, sir.
Have you received?
Yes, sir.
Docker exec Jenkins cat. Yeah. So shall I proceed further? Yeah. Do let me know. At least we'll just keep things ready and then we'll have break and then come back after break and then we'll go for now how to use the Jenkins. But at least one small thing, we just keep things perfectly. Now it says that once that work is done, now you like to configure Jenkins so that you will have different standard plugins for your Git, for your other stuff. So install suggested plugins. I just click. Now it is trying to download the plugins which are required for normal Jenkins process point of view. So one thing now at this particular end of your CDAC course, you are trying to look around. Yes, we are supposed to keep ourselves ready for this kind of administrative work also. Okay. So along with your coding, administration is very important. Along with the dev, your operations management knowledge should be there. Then you can say yes, I am a perfectly developer professional also, and I'm a perfectly operations management professional also, and we also know the role of the DevOps very well. So I would say now this is what you call as a full stack IT professional. So you should know how to install softwares. You should know using Linux very well. You should understand batch processing. You should understand the pipeline. You should understand the recipe. You need to understand the workflow behind of any particular process along with your coding knowledge.
Sir,
Yeah.
so this password command shows me permission denied.
Sir,
Uh,
same me also.
I think you should try sudo
sudo
before
नहीं
docker.
टाइप किया हाँ
आपने डॉकर के पहले sudo नहीं लिखा, शायद उसकी वजह से वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव अकाउंट से नहीं रन हो रहा ना. That's the reason you are having problem. Just put sudo before and then try this command.
सर वो जो हमने यूजर मोड किया था वहाँ पर डॉकर को उबंटू किया था वहाँ पर तो
हाँ मैं
वो नहीं किया तो भी चलता ना फिर सर वापस
चलेगा क्योंकि बाय डिफॉल्ट हम अभी लॉगिन उसी से है ना, है कि नहीं.
हाँ सर
Sir, when I'm going to that URL, this sign can't provide the secure connection. I'm getting that error.
Please use HTTP. Don't use HTTPS.
Okay, okay.
HTTP IP address :8080. Might be you are using HTTPS : and giving the IP address and port number.
Yes, sir.
This
Now available.
correct, no? These are the common things. Common mistake always happen. Which version of Java you are using on local machine? Can you tell me?
8 version 8.
Oh, then you could have installed this particular Jenkins on your laptop also. You wouldn't require this CI/CD, this particular EC2. I will share a link where that link, if you just follow, you will just need to download that Jenkins server and run it. And this whole step then again gets started as it is. At least you will be able to run particular workflow on your local machine if just Java 8.0 is available. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, it will work only on version 8.0 or the more than that. If the version is
Higher end, actually, this Jenkins server requires 8.0 only. If you are
okay.
using something called Java 17 or then it doesn't work. So that's why actually I thought might be most of you are using the latest version of Java. So installing this Jenkins on your machine will you face a problem. That's why I shifted myself into this particular EC2.
Does it require OpenJDK or any JDK works?
OpenJDK also it does. There's a link. I'll share the link. Okay. Apache JDK.
Sir, actually yesterday I got a mail from AWS that I have used the free tier 1 GB data transfer.
Mhm. That's okay.
So,
See, let this message comes. Just ignore it. Okay. And
okay.
even if something goes, if they find that your utilization is going over high, so during that time they will just send you that this much of bill has occurred. You just don't respond nothing. Automatically that account will be deactivated.
So we can always
No.
waive off the account, right?
But actually there is no any option available where we can go back and unsubscribe that account. Okay, no, we just stop. We doesn't use it. Our account will be automatically deactivated. So there will not be any problem for you. Understood? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Only thing, just do one thing. Do take care of properly closing your instances or terminating your instances once your job is finished.
Yes, sir.
Might be there are some kind of automated process actually giving this particular messages, but since you haven't used, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Yes, sir. It is not about the instances. It is about the AWS data transfer. Actually, they
Data
provide
transfer.
1 GB data per month as AWS free user tier data.
Okay. Okay. Data
AWS
transfer
data transfer.
from local machine to the AWS. Correct? No.
I guess so.
Okay. Okay. But I think 1 GB. You have you push any particular GitHub repositories from your machine to that AWS?
Yes, I tried, yes. But it is not like it is not more than 100 MB also. It's
Okay.
very light.
No worries. I think that will not make any problem. Okay. Even
Okay, sir.
I also used to get this kind of messages. Taking too much time. Okay, let this particular plugin gets installed. Can we have a break for half an hour? And after half an hour things are there, then we can continue further. Would be okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it's almost 10, 12, 10, 12. We'll be back by 10, 40. So I think after this plugin got properly installed, we have been redirected to the page where it is asking question key, please create your first user, first admin user. So those of you also parallelly installing this Jenkins along with me may also might have come across to same level, no? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So shall we continue or we should wait for 5 minutes for some other? Let me just check whether all participants have been there.
Yes, sir.
I think almost all participants are here, so we could continue.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
let
Okay.
yeah, good. So now let us do one thing. We have done one thing. We have created an EC2 instance. Under that EC2 instance, we use Docker. With the help of Docker, we were able to download Jenkins container image. We also run Jenkins container image with the help of port 8080 to be exposed outside. And once that whole work is done, we try to access this particular Jenkins server's port number from our local machine. Then it asks us to give us that admin password which has already been documented in the file. So we use that .NET Docker exec command so that we can retrieve that particular information. Then we passed it the plugins which are normally required for Jenkins. Now, what is the meaning of plugin? Plugins are nothing but like a small like components which are really required for the Jenkins server for build process point of view. Majorly, Jenkins server has been used as a build server where you may be able to build your Java applications, you may be able to build your .NET applications, or you may be able to build your own bootstrap. So all related stuff to build any particular web applications, you really need all those components to be taken at that area. So that's why the suggested plugin downloaded the related corresponding Jenkins command related outlets over here itself. Now we'd like to go further and we wanted to create our admin. So let me just now define admin. Admin is the username. Let me define password. So for time being, I'll use the same password which I always give it for myself. You can keep your own. Okay. Let me set file name. Let me just define my email address. So this is the way I'm trying to create admin as a user account for Jenkins server, and I'm defining the password because this username and pass your admin username you should remember very well whenever you want to log into this particular Jenkins server. So I use the button save and continue. Sorry. I think almost for half an hour we were not using this thing. So is it not responding? Can I copy this to some other access? Hmm. That means my session was not properly being saved. So I have to again follow the same steps. Let me go back, get our EC2 terminal. But we already given this password. Why you can ask me? Continue. Yes, I come to the page. Admin. Well, let's see. One. Giving email address. 7 continue. Done. So this is the way my instance configuration for Jenkins happening. The Jenkins URL is used to provide root URL for absolute links to various Jenkins resources. That means this value is required for proper operations of many Jenkins features, including email notification, PR, status updates, and build URI environment variable for the steps. Okay, so let us save it and say finish. Now it says that now your Jenkins is ready. So your Jenkins setup is complete. Now you can continue using your Jenkins. So that means you ask me to move to the Jenkins dashboard. Now here I am at the dashboard of Jenkins. Could you see? So it's a dashboard tells me Ravi has logged in. Build queue. There are no any build queues. Build execute status shows nothing is under execution under executed part. Second, it shows me start building your software project. And here it shows me create job. So that means you need to create a job under the Jenkins. Enter the name of the item, freestyle project, pipeline, multi configuration project. Creates a container that stores nested items in it. Multi-branch pipeline, organizations folder, and so many steps are here. Coming back to the main page again. So here I'm having the environment. Okay, no. So what do we want to do? I think we just want to create a very simplified pipeline. So if we wanted to create a simplified pipeline, then what do we do? Simplified pipeline, we like to have it inside this area. So would it be possible for us to create a simplified pipeline using, can I get the option? New item, my basic pipeline, I'm just giving name. Orchestrate long running activities that can span multiple build agents, suitable for building pipeline, formerly known as workflows. So if you have any particular activities to be carried out in step by step way, I think we always select a pipeline option. Let me just click on that, build pipeline. Description, basic pipeline to show workflow of steps. So we're trying to look for certain that says that pipeline speed duration, discard all old builds, do not allow any concurrent builds, do not allow pipeline if it pipeline to resume if controller restart GitHub project pipeline, the processes parameters, total build triggered, build after the project, build after the projects are build periodically. You want a certain task to periodically be built. Okay. Git hook trigger for GSM polling. This is what exactly people normally use. As soon as someone try to push any particular repository to the GitHub, so automatically on push on commit any particular thing in a GitHub repository, can this particular activity be started? So I think for that thing we really require the GitHub account and its corresponding token and everything. But first we'll just get a basic thing to be created. So when I just come across here basic thing, it's a define the pipeline. And if you want to define a pipeline, you can always define the pipeline by using some pipeline script. And when I just look around, there's some default pipelines would have been given to you. For example, try hello world. So what do you get? When I just click here, try hello world. So hello world point of view, it has created something like one structure. A pipeline is a root element. Under that curly, agent any stages. Under stages, we have got the stage hello. And hello stage, we have here something called step echo hello world. Can I just go back under this? It is a step. So what do you want to display? Echo hello. Okay. Steps. This one hello step you are trying to stage you are defining. You are expecting any other particular steps you would like to add it here. So we can keep going adding number of steps. Now I don't know how to write this particular pipeline steps. Can I just go back and try it right here? Correct, no? Writing Jenkins pipeline script. basics. So then I'll come to the official documentation, correct? No, which will tell me how you should write under this particular stuff. So config creating your first pipeline. I'm moving to the Jenkins official website page. What do you get here? For Java application, under pipeline, you write agent, Docker image, Maven 3.9 Eclipse, stage, build, step, MVM hyphen version. I think that will try to do one thing, that will try to get this another container Maven, and it will try to say that the Maven build command will be set up. If it is going to be like a Node.js application, so under that Node.js application, I do observe, I think it requires agent Docker image as a node version, stage build, node hyphen version. I think we are very much comfortable with this. Can I try this? Ruby point of view, Jenkins files declare syntax look like this. For Python application point of view, this looks like this. For PHP application, so it's something like a Docker image which is trying to tell us about your execution engine which can get inside, and after that once you receive you can check its version. Let me just come across. Can I replace this one? Control Z. Under this pipeline, let us put this. So you are trying to define stage build, and here we like to see that the node version will be presented to you. So that means this is something for a build process point of view, you require a Node.js engine, and the build process where you will really go back and try to define just a version. Okay, we can define multiple stages for this. So can we do one thing? If we could define this stage build, can we also add one more stage? I want to define a stage here, checkout, for example. Checkout. For that checkout, can I just display simple message? Echo. Source code is ready for checkout. Stage will always contain the steps, steps, and under the steps, I should write here Control X. So what I may write here, agent, any, stages. This is called Jenkins file. Stages. Number one stage is checkout stage. Under checkout stage, I want a step to be carried out which will just prompt a message source code is ready to check out. That is my first steps, which I defined under this area. Okay. Now, once it is added, my second stage build. I really want to build here. Counter build stage. Again, I define version. For time being, I'll use here again just to see my pipeline is setting properly. Echo initiate compiling all C# code using CSC compiler. Echo set output directory as bin. Echo copy all compile DLs into output directory. That is my build process. You define. Can we add one more stage? So if it's build, let us go for test. And under that, right, initiate application artifacts for unit test. Run .NET test command against each test project. Collect test result. I'm just creating a prototype. That is my one stage. The way you created this stage, then can we have another stage? We'll say deploy. Again, for deploy point of view, okay, initiate application artifact for staging server deployment. Sorry. Run .NET publish command for project using release mode. Collect log data. So what do you find here? Actually, we are really writing this whole kind of declarative instructions. If this is going to be a pipeline, so under that pipeline, what are the stages? So inside this, you are defining the pipeline where there's a first stage called checkout. If that is completed, then go for second stage, build. If build is completed, then please go for stage test. And if that is completed, then please go for the stage something called deploy. Now at this moment, actually, I just given the echo message. Just will print. But tomorrow it may happen that you really want to perform that command. So you will always use any particular command to be run. There's a command called sh. And for that sh, we will write the command like this way. Sh might be .NET restore. Then sh. Remember this commands we discussed in the morning time. .NET what is that? .NET build hyphen configuration release. So that is what exactly we call I want to get the build environment. Correct, no? Same thing. If you really want to go for test point of view, then the corresponding command we should always use like sh hyphen use that .NET command provided the .NET should have been installed inside .NET test command hyphen configuration. Correct, no? Release. Okay. Might be for this you would like to write the command. So we can define the commands what we would like to execute inside this area. But right now we haven't installed .NET, so I'm just slightly keeping simple pipeline. Can I just have a look? I'll share this file with you if it's perfectly written. Stage, stage, step, control A, control C, under chat. I'm trying this. I think the same script I shared with you. So this is actually called Jenkins file. And if that has been properly set up, I'll just press a button called save. As I save this whole thing, you will observe build history. You will observe my basic profile, and you can really come across here. My basic profile is been there. If I just go back and see my dashboard, under dashboard, now I will see there's one particular pipeline has been created. If you just click on the pipeline, it just gives the information, but this pipeline we need to build. So I have to just go back, whatever pipeline is available, just click on that pipeline and select option here, something called build now. Okay. If this Jenkins file is properly written, you should be able to see this information perfectly set up. And now click the option something called build now. Can you get something? Build now. And if that is done, that means there is no any error has occurred. Okay. So if I could just see build now, last build, waiting, build has been taken care. Can you again go back previously? Backside. It says this is successfully been built. Now if it is built, can you run this pipeline now? If I want to run this pipeline, that means every step, whatever defined, I wanted that step to be carried out. So there's a button here given to you. Schedule a build for this thing. Let me try. Build schedule. Can I go back? Can I see its options? Pipeline stages. Can you get the stages been represented here? Start, check out, then build, then test, deploy, and then finally end. So whatever activities you like to perform, you always define those activities using those particular stages. And under the stages, we have just discussed something called echo. So can I just go back and try to see there is a console available here? Dashboard. Where's the console? We wanted to see that one last page. Pipeline console. Can you get the pipeline console? So see, echo message, whatever we return, initiate application artifact for completion. This particular activity, it says it took almost 28 milliseconds. The next activity, run .NET publish command, collect log feedback. Everything, whatever defined, this was the kind of activity started. You see, checkout, build. So when I just click on checkout, print message, source code is ready for checkout. Build, print message, test, deployment. So activities has been organized and been shown to us. So it tells us okay, this is what exactly you build pipeline you have just created. But this pipeline actually is only printing the message, but we do not want to print that message. We want actual work to be carried out. Then what we can do under this area? So we need to ensure that we have to install the .NET or Java in that Jenkins server. And if .NET Java has been installed in this area, we also need to go back under the checkout option. Correct? What has been mentioned? You again go back, configured. You may write a command. SH. Correct? No? It clone your Git repository if you already have. Might be you have some repository that you really want to take it. You want to clone that repository. For example, I have this repository. I copy this URL. I come back to the environment. I will provide this URL. So what this URL will do? Yes, I think this URL will be able to clone your repository. Next, once it is cloned, what is to be done? Then you have to again use the command. You require that repository once downloaded, change directory CD to that particular AFL store. Then you really wanted here. This is my first thing. Keep things ready. Build process. Under build process, what is it required? I think you wanted that particular program to be built. So in that directory, if your application, if it's a .NET created application, our job is to go back and write here something like this: sh hyphen .NET restore. That will restore all the package. Like in Java, we call Maven build command. What is it? Maven. What is the command we use? If a package is a pom.xml file has all the packages and I want to restore all the packages, Maven build only, no? Yeah. Here we use restore. Enter. sh .NET .NET build. That is what exactly we normally make it here. So for example, now I would just show you. Could you get here? Setting Jenkins pipeline for your .NET application. If I want to do it for my .NET application, so what is it required? You come across, correct, no? Below is a simple example for Jenkins file for a .NET application. Checkout SCM, source control manager, GitHub, correct, no? Second, use .NET restore command. So whatever repository you already have it in local machine, .NET restore. Then you wanted .NET build hyphen config release. Then test. If there are a lot of unit tests has been already created under the project, so we write something called steps sh .NET test configuration release. so that the corresponding each and every unit test, if it has been mentioned, it will be actually run against your code, and it will check whether your all code has a proper walkthrough and zero your all tests pass. And deploy point of view, what is required? You wanted these applications to be deployed to Amazon or AWS or something. So definitely you require for that thing Amazon Web Services, App Service, or might be Microsoft Azure App Service corresponding token created, and that we can specify. So this is what exactly a standard a Jenkins file you could normally have it for a .NET application. In case of Java application, these commands will get changed. Java C .exe, Java project, Maven commands, Maven build, Maven publish, such kind of commands will be just replaced here, and that thing will be taken care, and the work is going to be set out. So whether it's a Java project, whether it's a .NET project, or it's a Node.js project, respective runtime need to be installed in that environment. And if you have your own kind of GitHub repository, that GitHub repository you have to check out, you have to take it from that repository URL and you can pass here. So I can use asset git clone command, and that would be able to download here. But only one problem I am facing in this AWS, my thing, because my actually Jenkins is running within container, and under container, I think this particular .NET I would not be able to install. Why? Because this is not the container I created. This is the container actually I pulled, correct? No? Yes. That means I don't have any access to modify that particular container. So I would not be able to install it here. If you really want this work to be taken place itself, so this Jenkins you would actually install on your local machine where you already have .NET, and then just try this all kind of command. It is going to work perfectly on your environment. But here I just shown you demo about how we can install Jenkins, how we can configure Jenkins, what is exactly Jenkins steps, what is the Jenkins file, what is the meaning of this all kind of content, and how we can set up, and how we can really take that particular job perfectly run in that situation. So that is I just try to create into this. So I will not write this code. Otherwise, in my case, this particular thing, if I save it and try to save, it will say did not find this command, because in my content there's no .NET install. But if this is actually in physical machine, so during that time, physical machine is EC2 instance. So during that time, I think that would have been work. EC2 instance, Docker, and again container and inside Jenkins. The situation should be like that way. You should have EC2 instance directly inside Jenkins inside only, not in a container. Then thing will be much more easier for us to handle it. Can we try that? Now at this point in a container we have it, so we would not be able to do it here. But we want a separate EC2 instance where we can do that also. But I need to first check how to install Jenkins. Or Jenkins download we require. What is the operating system we're using? Ubuntu. You can install Jenkins through Jenkins repository. Okay, I do find somewhere here DigitalOcean site. sudo apt install Jenkins. Okay. Sudo systemctl start Jenkins service. Sudo systemctl status Jenkins. Sudo UFA flow allow 8080 flow from the firewall. Open SSH. So that will again come across the same screen. We'll configure. Let's set up. Same thing. Yeah, these steps, whatever we did, we just remain as it is. That's it. But we would like to check Jenkins if I want to install on my machine. Correct, no? Then I really first need to download that JDK. So if you want to try, if you have your Java 8.0, I think you will, but you are using Windows machine, no? Yes, that means we want a Jenkins for Windows.
Sir, we can try this out on EC2 instance right now because we are running it on a Docker, right?
Yeah, we
Docker
are
inside a
right.
container.
We are in Docker, so that's why we are not able to actually do all kind of that .NET installation part, correct, no? So what I really require, we'll try with this. Can I just do one thing? Let me close Docker first. I have to go back and I have to stop this Docker. If I want to stop this Docker, what is required? First, you have to remove this particular container, no?
Sir, if we delete the image, then it will automatically
That is
stop.
what exactly I'm trying to do it. Sudo docker, yes. You cannot just remove image. You have to first terminate this particular container. Copy. Then sudo docker kill path paste -f. Sudo docker kill. Sudo docker ps. Done. Now let us remove that particular sudo docker images. Sudo docker rmi hyphen copy paste -m -f. So it's deleted. So we are properly clean. It's a plain ls, nothing inside. So we would like to get that particular stuff. Can we really go back and follow the steps? Installing Jenkins. The version of the Jenkins including the default Ubuntu package is often behind latest available. To ensure you have latest fix, use the project manage to install this thing. Okay, wget. I'm copying this. Can I go back to my system? Now please specify the path from where this Jenkins install will be taken place. Sudo sh debian Jenkins copy is to paste. sudo sh echo def jenkins list enter. Done. Next. After both commands have been entered, run apt update. So it is updating with usual packages. The following signatures couldn't be verified because the public is not available. The repository is not signed. See apt secure manage my page for repository creation and user configuration. Details. Try this. The package Jenkins has no installation candidate. This means that the package is missing and has been obsolete or is only available for another source. That means this is not allowing sudo apt install Jenkins. Sudo apt install Jenkins. Can we see another particular article? If it is not helping us, then we can find some install Jenkins in 10 minutes. 23 ka document. Let me read it first. Sudo apt open JDK. The first open JDK required. Let me just try. Okay. Let us download OpenJDK GRE.
So we are installing OpenJDK 21.
So they have mentioned here. So we'll try this. I think that Java 8 might be Oracle Java and OpenJDK 21 it allows. Okay. Now JDK is installed. Let us check the version of the Java. OpenJDK 64-bit 21. Now let us use apt file jpg of repository to APT source. Enter. There is again update. Hope this time we'll get the J2 install. There's the Linux word. Oh, commands plays major role. Sudo apt get update. Sudo apt update. Let us try directly sudo apt install Jenkins. Sudo apt install Jenkins. Is it right? That's the reason I use container. Jenkins. Sudo apt install Jenkins. Conflicting value set for signed by regarding source binary. apt sudo apt install Jenkins. Sudo apt we would need to search on internet. Jenkins installation error plus this. What is the possible solution? Jenkins installation errors on local Ubuntu. Let's try this one. Hope this time the key might be also available. Sudo apt install. So this is what exactly we find the Eureka effect every time in IT industry you face. You try following some particular instructions, but somewhere the key was not getting properly available, and then you realize which is the right one. So let me share this perfect command. Let me save this command properly so that we would not get again confused. I hope I copied it to my notepad file. No, yeah, it is already there. But still, for reference point of view. So JDK, everything was perfectly done. That was right, but this was having a problem. Now,
Can you share that in chat box?
yeah. Okay, available.
Yes.
Why? Now we are trying to get this install process. Means you always find under this article half part is working, half part was actually having a problem. So it's a combination of two articles we are trying to do this for. Locally on EC2 instance we are trying to install. Let's see. Jenkins installation is going on. Open JDK 21. Correct, no? So first we did one thing. We use sudo apt update. Then we use sudo apt install open JDK 21. And after that, now we are trying to install Jenkins on this. So this is what you call DevOps, where coding is very less, but you need to know the steps, you need to know the recipes, and you should know why we are doing this all kind of activities. What is the reason behind of moving from containers to local installation of this particular Jenkins? Does anyone tell me why actually I shifted for local installation of this Jenkins on this machine? Yes.
Because we need to perform some .NET
we
activities.
we really wanted to have some .NET command run, git clone command work, correct? No, because that pipeline is perfectly created, and that pipeline has to be tested. How we tested using echo. So echo just tells us yes, this step is completed, this step is completed. But whether in that step, what do you really want to do? I want to really build a project. I really want to clone a repository. I really wanted to run a test, correct? No, and for that running that test, building that repository or doing something, we require on that virtual machine that .NET or Node.js, whatever thing that is really required to be installed. And container, inside a container, we cannot install anything because the container is already given by them. So it was only used to create a Jenkins server. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask during a modern exam this installation process, but at least let me know. Correct? So one thing have you observed? If you really want to go for DevOps, I think Linux knowledge is very important. If you don't have Linux knowledge, if you don't know Linux command, how to use it, you don't know how to play with the Linux shell, correct? No, then I think this DevOps will not be our career. If someone want to think they want to treat DevOps as their career for future point of view, start preparing, start revising your Linux basics, Linux command, and then this cloud computing, whatever we did. Once this is done, you also need to install .NET Core 8.0 on this machine. So we also need to search when this in Jenkins is getting completed. Please download the runtime you want to use along with the Jenkins. So if you are using Java, JDK is already been there, so there's no problem. If you want to use Node.js, then you need to really go back and using sudo apt install Node.js so that the Node.js will be installed. If you want a .NET, then actually we need to know on Ubuntu machine what is the particular command for .NET SDK to be installed. Correct? No? Let me just try. I think this is going on, so we'll just keep it here as well. Let me look for install .NET Core 8 on Ubuntu. Yes. And we would have some official website page, Microsoft, where they might have given sudo apt install .NET something command. So it is install SDK, sudo apt update, sudo apt install -y .NET SDK 8.0, and runtime installation point of view, sudo apt install ASP.NET Core -runtime 8.0, and you want to get again sudo apt install .NET runtime 8.0. As an alternative to the ASP.NET Core, you can install .NET runtime which does not include ASP.NET Core. Replace ASP.NET Core 8.0 in previous command. We want we want this one. Okay, this I think we would like to get, but before that, let us go and check whether it is still going on.
So it is completed on my machine.
In your message completed?
Yes, sir.
Then can you just try this one? I'm sharing this URL with you. I'm sharing the Microsoft official website URL. Hey, wait. If it is completed, I think we have to go back and you have to start that Jenkins server, correct? No?
Yes, sir, I did that also.
So I hope it is giving you 8080.
Yes, sir.
Can you share your screen? I think let us switch to your screen. Okay?
Okay, okay, sir.
That will be nice. Please share your screen. Okay, so you need again that command for retrieving the password. You know the command to retrieve that password we last time in that command. .NET. Wait. Remember the path. Can you just go back to the path now, because we are not using now. We wanted. Can you just remove that Docker? Just use the exec Jenkins. Yeah, just remove this one and just type exec Jenkins where. Otherwise, we have to go back and open that file. Are we getting the password after entering this one?
Is this pass correct, sir?
Remove this, please do one thing. Can you go to that particular file in Linux machine? Initial password. We will get that command from that thing itself.
There is no folder called Jenkins here.
Yes.
No.
It is in slash where, yeah. It is in slash where leave slash Jenkins secrets initial password. I'll just give the path.
CVD.
I'll put in chat the path.
Okay, sir.
Can you get this path and look under that path?
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Remove. Just type secrets. Keep secret. ls. Can you type ls?
Yes, sir. Here it is. Initial password.
Copy this one.
Continue.
Continue. Great. Install plugins.
Left one, right?
Yes, left one, right. Let's wait. Is all good. Start. So we are in a perfect environment. So can you go back and select new item? Give some name. Pipeline. Select pipeline. Have you selected the pipeline option?
Yes, sir.
Now pipeline script. Script question mark. Oh, you're not getting the script inside?
No, sir.
Wait. Pipeline script. No, this is actually something your Jenkins file will be taken from the GitHub repository. Why you're not getting that simple pipe script question mark?
Pipeline
Use group.
syntax.
Oh, that. We want a text box perfect. Pipeline option selected. Type some description of what I mean. Let me just see why.
Come again, sir.
I said just go to the first page on the first line. Type something out. Display. You gave a name for that particular pipeline.
Yes, sir.
First pipeline configure. My first, right? My first. Left. Scroll below. Let me see. Pipeline script. Why pipeline script is not showing us the script that I want to type it inside?
Can I just save, sir? Save it, sir, and then configure it
Let's try.
later.
Is it getting saved? Because unless and you don't write script, I think. Now again, come back to that particular script. Edit. It is there. Configure. Click on. Can you just click configure below?
Now it is available.
Now it is there. Yes, right, good. Now we wanted that .NET Koala script, no? Correct.
Yeah. .NET or okay.
Which one you like to write? Node.js or .NET? Which one you like to try first?
Sir, anything you prefer. I'm just
Okay.
following your lead.
.NET कर लो आरिफ भाई.
.NET will use dot. We require .NET application also for that thing in a repository.
Come again, sir.
We require .NET repository also for that one. That's the reason I'm.
Okay. So can you share the script?
We want a script for. Can you just copy and put it inside? Just paste inside.
What should I paste, sir?
I already shared in chat.
Okay, okay, just a minute.
Now do one thing. At this moment, please. Okay, you save this one, but we wanted to see first. We will just do some simplified word. That is nothing but a Node.js instruction. That is very simple. Can you just go to the console? Save it as it is. What I mean. Okay. Now, can you again come back to this Linux shell? Open terminal. Keep it as it is. This one as it is. We want Node.js in your install your Linux, your Ubuntu machine. Minimize this one.
Okay, okay. You want to open this? Yes.
Yeah. Sudo apt install Node.js. Space Node.js. Sudo apt install npm. Sudo apt install npm. So we are trying to prepare your machine with the Node.js runtime environment. So here at least we learn two things. Number one, we learn how Jenkins container can be pulled and Jenkins container can be started and Jenkins container can be used to create a simplified pipeline. Second thing, we also learn how on a local environment we will be able to install Jenkins. For the thing, we will use OpenJDK 21 and then we install Jenkins. Second, that we also try to learn. Now, third thing we are trying going now, that particular pipeline should contain some particular Node.js or .NET Core application. Check the version of Node.js. Node.js -v. And npm-v. npm-v. Okay, so we have got Node.js. That means we got a runtime is properly set up. Now we wanted using this particular pipeline, correct? No. Now can we clone a repository? So Shayad, can you open that particular script now? Go back to the script. Yeah, edit this particular script now. Now you know this first thing you'll call build, correct? No. So in a build where the echo building is written, no.
Yes, sir.
After that sh echo building, you just say enter and again type command sh in single quote git clone. And now I just share my TFL store repository URL. Can you just copy and paste? Yeah, copy that URL. That means we are expecting when this build command will be done, I think during that time this is going to clone that repository, correct? No. Now when you say test under inside, we wanted sh cd TFL store.
How many?
Sh change directory to TFL store. cd sh space hyphen cd TFL store. Enter sh. Now what we want under the TFL store, we wanted the packages will be installed. No, so we will type command npm space install. Then again sh space node server.js. So that is something like running this application. We wanted to try. Correct? No.
Yes, sir.
Can you save?
Sir, don't we need to deploy it here as well?
Now deploy we don't because we just want to deploy means now you have to again use that bundler and deploy it. We just keep that message as it is. We just want to see at least out of that how many commands it works. Apply, save. Okay. Can you use the option called now build now? See at the bottom what's going on.
It is building, sir.
So till which step it is going, that is what we want to see. So it should clone first.
It has failed, sir.
It has failed. Can you just open that build console? We want to see it why it's failed at which command it failed. Not that one. We have to go to the dashboard. We have to click on that key. Yes, click on that. Just click on this. We'll come to know in which we failed. So can you just select, there is option called configure. There is something called console. We want to see its console. Go back and
Console.
click on. Go back and click that particular build. Go back and click that first pipeline in your dashboard. Now, can you see downward? Can you see there is something called console, pipeline console or something options coming?
No, sir. No pipeline console or something.
Wait, can you click on the stages?
Yeah.
Acha. See what happened? It has gone. Even your build also been successful. The test is failed. Why test? Because what did we do on the test?
Just checking it.
Now do one thing. There is some kind of output window we like to see. Go back. क्लोन
Where?
हुआ कि नहीं? वो क्लोन हुआ कि नहीं? क्लोन तो हुआ इसका. तो
Yes, sir.
क्लोन
It
कहाँ
is
पे हुआ?
cloned.
एक
And
बार
it is
देखिए.
certain.
वो किस फोल्डर के अंदर है? Can you just go back to the ls? Type it here ls.
Nope.
No,
Nothing.
actually वो जो आपका जेनकिन चालू होता है ना, जेनकिन के उसके अंदर का जो फोल्डर होता है उसके अंदर उसने उसको क्लोन किया है. Clone got work, but others. Can you again show me the output? Under test it failed. Can you click on the test? npm installed. npm installed failed.
Okay. I think
cd path is not required. Is the folder path name is given perfectly? cd dfl store. npm.
Or should I just move this command here in the building?
It is not able to locate npm install. There is one particular option would be available inside, which shows the folder structure where how it's going on. Can you again go back? Can you go back to the dashboard? Yeah, dashboard. There's the 3 minutes 24 build pipeline stages, rename properties, changes. Can you click on the changes? See, select the first field. It's here. npm install, npm error, npm open, npm path / where Jenkins packet.json file is not found. So that means it is running this npm command inside a folder where / deep Jenkins. We wanted it should actually work with our own. Can you just select the build option? Let me see where exactly the clone happened. Does it show this output does it show it, cloning into TFL store? See, it is written below. Cloning into TFL store. But where the TFL store is gone? Can you look for TFL store?
But I think it is here actually.
Would you please open? Just get that path. Jenkins workspace inside. We want to see, is there any folder got created? See, inside CD TFL store. That means one thing we go to inside and write CD TFL store. So it was looking for package file under this. It should go and find the path on inside TFL slash JSON file, TFL slash dot package dot JSON file.
Sir, I think we'll need to update this path.
This path can we put just pass path your TFL till TFL store. पूरा वो देना पड़ेगा till TFL store.
Is it correct now, sir?
TD where pin seems save it. Again try. So cloning is done. That means our commands perfectly work. The path for npm was not getting available. That's why we are facing problem. Wait, I think build done is going on. Wait. Third. Wait. Now can you go back and check? Build
No, sir,
again.
it's still failed.
Check at least we'll see at which step if it is now getting failed. अभी भी npm install के लिए वो problem दे रहा है कि हमें पता चलेगा इसमें से. Pages.
It is failing now in build.
पहले से हमने क्लोन करके रखना उसको फिर से रीड करके फिर से कमांड डालना पड़ेगा. पहला बिल्ड वर्क हुआ था, बिल्ड के अंदर वो अपना पैकेज आया था. नो व्हाट git clone command got perfectly work, git command got perfectly work, and after that we now wanted npm install command done it here. तो शायद ये पूरा करने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, फिर से उसमें से tfl स्टोर निकालना पड़ेगा उस डायरेक्टरी में से.
Sir, we don't need to build here now. I think we can remove this command actually.
हाँ, okay, ठीक है. We will just remove because it's already been cloned.
Yes, sir. Save. Build now.
So fourth build is going on.
It again failed.
Let's see at which level it is failed. It again failed for the test. Now under the test it is failed for again npm install.
And same error, sir. Is it looking for path here, sir?
It is looking path for here. So why don't you do one thing? Copy the package.json file and put it inside that directory, first pipeline. Go to the TFL store. Under TFL store, we go to package.json file.
It is looking for this file, sir.
It is looking here package.json file. So what we would do, the CD TFL store we are using, no? Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
So go to the TFL store, CD TFL store. You know, there is a file package.json file I will inside.
Yes, sir.
So copy this file and put at that directory level.
Outside the TFL store.
Yes.
MV, then
MB package.json to the directory of first pipeline. You have copied that colon. Remove colon.
so there is already exist a file.
There is no package.json. There's a package underscore log. We want package.json file. permission denied. sudo check it now. Now we have packet.json file. Okay,
Okay, sir.
now we will again run this build. Now your build will succeed, but that node server.js file may not run. Okay, just click on that area. Going on. Because the package, if it is going, it is looking for the packet.json file, so definitely it is now downloading those packages, and downloading package is going to take a time, correct? No.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing again, if that package has been downloaded, our next particular command we may be interested for now not running. We should have used command something called as a Node.js test point of view. npm install. This same thing will happen with the .NET as well. Can you just go to the command prompt and just say ls command? Here.
It is
Have you
downloading,
observed? Yeah.
not modules.
Means it's ready now downloading npm module. So what exactly we are trying to understand? You have something called download, you have something called package, you have something called restore, you have something called republish. So these all kind of commands we have to list down, organize it according to this particular stages, and this stage we just keep it here. So let us get the scenario. Tomorrow I modify my code. I'll just push the code to the GitHub repository TreeFile store. And once that work is done, I think I'll just come across and here just run the build. What happened? From that repository, the code will be taken, packages will be downloaded. Might be you learn test. जैसे .NET का टेस्ट होता है, वैसे Node.js का कौन सा टेस्टिंग फ्रेमवर्क है? Jest, Chai and Jest. I think that we can just configure, and behind the test also will be taken. But definitely under the build process, we will never run. हमने थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे मिस्टेक किया है, वो कौन सा क्या है, और हम वहाँ पे जाके node server.js command run कर रहे हैं. We do not have to run node server.js command, because when you node server.js command, it is supposed to launch another process. Build your Jenkins server is used for what purpose? For
Building the project only,
building the
not
project.
deploying it.
That means you clone the repository, you resolve the dependencies, then you build the project. Now once it is built, we should have another command further. Might be उसका container तैयार करो, है कि नहीं? sudo docker build command, so that एक और एक country image हो जाए. sudo docker push command. तो ये आपका Jenkins का सर्वर का मेन काम यही है, only build server, and the build server will always take care of defining the stages, and the stages it just perform the task. शायद आगे का नेक्स्ट हमारा स्टेप ये होना चाहिए कि अगर ये सारा ठीक तरह से बिल्ड होता है तो उसका करस्पॉन्डिंगली उसका करस्पॉन्डिंगली कंटेनर तैयार करो. sudo docker build -t tfl store. So might be then if docker is also available on that machine, क्या होगा? Automatically docker कंटेनर भी बन जाएगा, है कि नहीं? जो भी सारे आपने डॉकर के कमांड्स हमने यूज किए, हमें क्या करना है? रिपोजिटरी क्लोन करो, रिपोजिटरी क्लोन करने के बाद में उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग कंटेनर्स बना दो. रिपोजिटरी क्लोन करो, कंटिन्यूस बना दो, रिपोजिटरी क्लोन करो, कंटिन्यू बना दो। तो इसका मतलब क्या हो गया, इस मशीन के ऊपर हमें डॉकर ऑलरेडी हमने इंस्टॉल करके रखा है, तो शायद हमारे कमांड जो हम स्टेज एसएच कमांड के अंदर दे रहे, वो सारे कमांड क्या होंगे, sudo docker build -t. This is what exactly we normally process this whole kind of environment. So good, at least my machine still it is having some problem with the Jenkins instruction, so it's not going further. It is still showing something called 68%. Something that number of times I use different keys, no, that's why it's not working. But at least here, most of you understood the process. Means what is our ultimate goal of this whole thing? You should know what is exactly Jenkins file. The script which you write, that is called Jenkins file. Second thing, in the Jenkins file, what are the kind of keys we normally use? Stages, stage. Then, how do you print any particular message on that particular Jenkins output window? Echo. How do you run any particular command which you want to get executed in that workflow? SH, no? Yes, we use SH command. And then we define multiple stages. And we really do batch processing of those all kind of commands under this area. And one such kind of pipeline which is defined using Jenkins file, you save it and you go for build now option. So when you go for build now option, Jenkins server will read your Jenkins file, and accordingly each and every step it will just try to perform the task. Might be copying certain files, might be moving certain files, might be running certain compiler, might be running some particular Maven, or might be running something called npm, and then keeping things ready. That's it. Or might be in future we will use certain commands which will push this kind of containers created containers back to the Docker hub. तो इसका काम से इतना है, लेने का डेटा, कंटेनर इमेज बनाने का और पुश करने का. And once the image is pushed available there, I think people will be able to clone on the production environment. This is ultimately we have learned in our today's discussion about something called Jenkins as a build server, Jenkins as a automation server, Jenkins with the automation script, and how to install Jenkins on your machine with OpenJDK, and how also Jenkins container can be used with the help of your Docker engine. And then what is exactly CI/CD pipeline? That is what exactly we covered in this whole area. So this is what exactly in our today's session we wanted to go about it. So I do expect corresponding content related stuff is already there in SVM that you can always read very well. Correct? Try to follow the same steps as we have seen right now. Arif Sheikh has done that thing inside the environment. Anyhow, it is going to be, it has been recorded. So wherever you face any kind of problem with the installation, correct? No, you'll always try to check that thing. Even that automation script, installation scripts link has also been shared with you. So what did you find in this whole kind of now Monday from Wednesday till today itself? I think we always say this is software engineering. Now, can you see in the software engineering, we have done all kind of almost work using practical oriented. Correct, no? So software engineering is not a theory. Software engineering is really a practice that you need to follow in your whole kind of software development lifecycle activities. This is what exactly we wanted to learn in this whole process. Arif, please don't mind if you close your instances once your job is very fine, because I do find there are two instances you kept running. One is the automobile and second is your Jenkins, correct? No? So just to keep, are you using free trial? No?
Yes, sir.
You're using free trial, no?
Yes, sir.
So
I have $300 credit, sir.
thanks for you. You're quite wealthy person. I'm very happy. Okay, so
Sir, it's not working actually now.
yeah, actually, it is
In
not going to work.
earlier, sir, in earlier we are giving the path till the TFL store, right? Then why it is not able to fetch that package.json file?
Because the Jenkins by default looking for that packet.json file in its own directory.
But we have
Pipeline directory.
specified the path now.
Even though I specified, but still it was actually going for the same path itself. We tried to change the path, but it was not accepting. That is why we copied that particular file packet.json file from your TFL store and kept on the top file. Then the work got worked. So we tried, but it was not doing that work. That's why the file was explicitly been copied. But still, I'll try to look for the corresponding options. What is to be done for that thing? Correct? No. So
Yes, sir.
majorly it always look for the file under this area. So there might be some particular again Jenkins command available where we can really specify the path also. I haven't come across, so I think I need to just do some kind of R&D for that thing. Sir. Understood, Rajan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I'm not getting the things from that Node.js server. It is all mixed up, that copy into the TFL store and paste into outside the TFL store. It's quite confusing.
You didn't
Then
learn
it
that Node.js ka part where you have got a
no,
package.json thing.
no, sir. That part
So,
is clear
acha,
at my
means
side.
you
but-
slightly got confused why we were trying to copy that particular command, why we're using that mv command for copying packet.json
Yeah,
from the TFL store to inside, correct? No?
yeah, and
Yeah.
why it is not getting that file
Kajal
in the
actually, yeah, means Kajal, what happened when actually even I was not understanding why it was happening. Then I actually realized I observed in that particular console window where the commands were showing it is looking, it is going for the directory of that particular first pipeline, and then it is looking for that particular packet.json file, and it was saying there is no such kind of packet.json file available. Then we realized even though after giving cd path, it is not going, it's still looking for that. That's why we then slightly changed where we actually just did one small thing. We copied that particular file from TFL store and kept that location where exactly Jenkins was looking for. And then somehow it got created. So this all the things when you say we are not getting, that means in this thing that log files, that particular error messages, whatever are getting displayed. No, I think that we have to read carefully. And after reading carefully, then we realize what is exactly things are going wrong. Okay. So might be I think that particular thing what we were trying to understand, or if we were trying to understand, we got that information, but I think by that time you may not have clicked that particular point. Array, that is what exactly the line actually Ravi sir looking, and that's why he understood to move that file.
No, sir, I
Okay.
was able to click, but in real time, if we are testing, if we are planning to do
Exactly.
that, then we have to move all that server node, server JS, and all the file into the outside of that folder.
That is
Then
why,
it is
yeah.
not
Kajal,
reliable.
in that case, actually, we were using the option called agent no. Okay. Every
Yeah.
time that particular pipeline was started with something called agent no. Correct, no?
Mhm.
So rather than agent no, I think they have some other kind of agent where you can really specify other configurations. So might be that agent related kind of configuration would actually help us to resolve this problem. But I'm not quite sure because I need to first check it out. So let me just go through that part. Let me just search on that area and I'll definitely update you on that area. Would it be okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See,
Yes,
in
sir.
this,
Thank you.
in this thing, please always understand whenever you're coming across such kind of like a DevOps world. So every time, every 3 months, there are new tools are coming. There are new kind of updates are getting available. So these problems, even we seniors also face. So what we normally do, we always try to get that particular problem. We look for the articles, we look for that particular official documentations, and from that thing we actually collect the information, or we also go for the log, and then actually these discussions, forums help us to get that information. A lot of people means we also don't know. So during that time, we only need to know how that particular mindset of searching and finding under the official blog, finding on those particular forums, and from that thing adding in this area. Whenever you're going to work in any IT company, I think this process has been already set up somewhere 3-4 years before, and they have got complete documentations available. Where the path to be set, which is the agent supposed to be applied, that's been already predefined. So no one is going to ask us now you create the pipeline right from the scratch by your own. They will also say we already set up the pipeline. You please understand the pipeline. In that pipeline, these are the kind of parameters where we should change. Here we should not touch. We should actually modify here, and the paths are given there. So full documentation in your company would be maintained. So during that time, this problem definitely will not be occurred, because this problem they might have occurred somewhere. They might have faced experience somewhere 2 years before, 3 years before, and they also might have found the remedy because they're in a production environment. Correct? No? So definitely this thing will not happen in that area. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So my dear friends, that is the way We have gone through our SDM. That's the way we learn theory. That's the way we learn the steps. We learn the recipes. We learn tools. We learn configuration. We learn Docker. We learn EC2 instance. And we also learn about Jenkins installation and Jenkins configuration. And some kind of overview about basic pipeline. What is it? And how this pipeline is written based on like a Jenkins file with some basic syntax. So this is what exactly is a part of our syllabus. So now you are free to go through all kind of content, get yourself prepared for the CC exam. And if it is possible, try to see once your CC project is being done, see can this project, whatever you created, will be deployed on a GitHub repository. Try to see can this GitHub repository will be cloned into the EC2 instance, and we would be able to run that application under the EC2 instance. And try to see can this build process slightly, we would be able to tweak by using Jenkins. Jenkins, it is the old server people use. Nowadays, they are getting replaced by using Git actions and Git workflows. And under that Git workflows, the corresponding ready-made templates are available. Someone, if is interested, how any GitHub project can be actually used like a CI/CD pipeline. So I think you have a lot of good kind of YouTube videos available about Git actions and Git workflows. Okay. Vipul, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt that I created that the Docker container and the Docker images as well, but I haven't killed those and removed those containers. That's why my storage got full, I guess. I directly closed the tab of that Ubuntu console. So
Okay. But even though you close, but have you terminated that instance, EC2 instance?
yeah, instance I have terminated.
Then there is no problem. See, whenever
Okay,
you whenever you close the instance, no, everything just gets wiped out.
okay, sir. Okay.
So by mistake, if you forgot something, you always have a last option. That is why, but just terminate your instance and thing just goes as it is.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir.
Hi. Yes.
Sir, I'm creating my AWS account, but at the time of payment, like I have tried from various cards, but they're saying after all details and OTP, after entering all details and OTP, so then it's saying the payment method cannot be verified. Check your information and try again. Like
Now,
it
whatever your cards you are using, are these cards belong to nationalized bank,
yes, sir.
SBA?
Like
SBI?
yes, sir. I have like tried from every bank.
Because
Like
normally,
HDFC,
I don't know.
ICICI, like every bank.
Apart from Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, okay, and Axis Bank, HDFC Bank means these are like a private banks are there, no? They have already got that particular international payment service enabled for transfer. But other kind of banks normally, according to their security and safety point of view, they don't allow any particular service like international payment transfer, correct? No, service enabled. So
But
if you
sir,
want
like one of my friend, she got her done AWS account now. So I tried from her card also, but still it's
card, there is only one card for one user.
okay. But other
Because
ones, like
you cannot use the same card for two separations. So that's why in your case that will not get work.
but sir, बाकी सबके यहाँ पे दो लाइक घर वालों के सबके कार्ड से मैंने किया है बट वो स्टिल ऐसा हो रहा है और
Which is
4-5
this
बार
bank?
करने के बाद
Which is this bank, Tanvi?
like I have tried from Central Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, then Maharashtra Bank also.
Are you from Pune, Mumbai, or
Yeah, Pune.
then I think this is not supposed to happen
और
because
like after 3-5 times like मतलब वो 4-5 बार OTP डालने के बाद वो लेता ही नहीं है कार्ड फिर वो नेक्स्ट डे या फिर 4-5 आवर्स के बाद फिर से करना पड़ता है
even I don't know the answer for this.
because
Why exactly AWS is not accepting your card for verification purpose? They have their own standard. We wanted this Visa and Master. Even I also don't know.
I have also like I have Visa or MasterCard, but still not.
No, sir. Now RuPay is also accepted.
Pardon?
Yes,
Rupee
Rupee card
is
on
like
all sides. Yes.
great. Then that's good. Madam, I think I would say now try again Rupee card now. I don't have answer for this.
Okay.
So Vipul,
Yes, sir.
I think we are almost gone through every topic of SDM. We learned. I think participants may have enjoyed. I hope they also seen the practical part of each and every feature, whatever we learn. Okay. And I wish this particular knowledge will make them getting prepared for